struggling with a lack of identity and you didn't even realize that you've lost yourself in the process of life or maybe even trauma, in this video I'm talking about 10 signs of how you can identify that you have lost your own self-identity. Over the last few years, the reality is that so much changes and shifts have happened to all of us. Some were uncontrollable and some were controllable, that we had to make decisions and changes and also go with the flow of life. So this video is broken down into 3 sort of subjects. The first one is about talking about how we could have lost our self-identity. The second part would be is identifying and resonating with behavior and emotions that you can become more aware that you've actually lost your identity. The third part would be, please stick around to watch till the end of the video. It is you use practical steps in our daily lives to make those shifts so we can actually evolve and grow and find our identity. So hi, my name is Tania Sutherland with over 38 years experience in the fashion industry, fashion designer, digital fashion designer, as well as fashion stylist, and of course, a confidence coach. And these are all connected with your self-love, self-worthiness, your self-identity, and having the confidence for you to actually step into the world to create the kind of life that you want, following your life purpose with absolute confidence, courage, and motivation. But if you are lacking self-identity, can you just imagine you are feeling so lost? So let's get started. If you love this kind of content, then don't forget to smash the subscribe button down below and stay to the end of the video to see all your practical steps of how you can shift and change and create that new identity because you've also changed. So let's get started. As we all know, when things start changing in our lives, and a lot of things are changing all at once, or feeling effect of changes, sometimes it just becomes too overwhelming for us to actually accept how things have changed so much from a month ago, few days ago, or even 6 months ago. Let's have a look at that. You could have gone through a divorce. So your whole life has changed. Your routine has changed. Your actual position in the family role has changed because maybe you were a wife and the children, maybe you were a home executive and you were bringing up the children and taking care of them. And now the children have left the house. They've gone to varsity. Plus you've got divorced. You no longer live in the house that you used to own and share with your husband. You now moved into a different apartment, a different home, a different suburb, a different route, a different shops. Everything is different for you. Perhaps you've even lost friends because through the divorce maybe someone took sides, or maybe because now you're single, people don't want you in their lives for whatever reason. Just the divorce alone separates and causes a lot of rifts and changes where you're maybe not friends with your extended family anymore. There could have been arguments, all those things that happen. You know what I mean. The other one could be is career changes. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you were kind of like forced to start a new career because a new pathway and opportunities came your way and you decided, I've got to take it. It's a matter of survival and you are going for it. And of course, how do you think you're going to feel about that? Perhaps you don't have all the skills yet and that 100% confidence in yourself, knowing you can actually do this new career, step in, knowing everything about it, but you don't. So you kind of feel insecure. You're feeling unstable and you kind of feel like that imposter syndrome type of thing, and you don't quite have that identity that you used to have when you were maybe in a different career where you felt so confident and you knew exactly who you were and you just walked in with confidence and with years and years of experience. The other one could be business failure. I totally identify with this one, where I failed in one of my businesses, but I keep forgetting that I actually achieved and made many successes in my other businesses. But that failure kind of affected my self-identity. It made me feel insecure and unstable. And my identity really started to shake quite a bit, that I didn't feel that I was the person that I've always used to be, in this fashion designer, this fashion entrepreneur, fashion stylist, and confidence coach. Even with the books I've written, I just felt I didn't quite fit in with all the changes. I kind of felt like, what happened to me? I've lost myself somewhere along the way. How the hell do I find myself? What about trauma? Someone could have got very, very ill. You yourself has got very ill. Maybe someone passed on, has left you alone. And even those that have gone through drug rehabilitation, where people have been suffering with depression and were taking excessive alcohol or drugs to cope with life, and now they've stopped all that, but a lot of damage has been done in their self-esteem, and they don't have that same job, those friends anymore, their career has shifted and changes, so they completely feel totally lack of identity, not knowing who the hell they are. So all these different changes in your life can definitely shift your identity or take you down this sort of rabbit hole of, losing yourself along the way. Even a big move, like soon I'll be immigrating to the USA, selling my house, selling everything, just having a few things left, waiting for this whole transition. Even that many days gets to me where I feel, who the hell am I? And thank goodness I've got the tools to stop, reflect, and think about it. Think about why I made these changes. These are changes I made because I wanted a difference in my life, in my career. So change could be that you've created it, or something that came along was totally out of your hands and something that was totally unexpected. And you've kind of been thrown into this, and now you've realized your identity is completely shaken. You know who the hell you are. So let's have a look at behaviors, emotions that shows the 10 signs, 12 signs that you have lost your self-identity. The first one could be that you're feeling lost. So when you're feeling lost, you're not really feeling confident. You don't really feel that you have this absolute plan of where you're going, that you know from today, tomorrow, you've got everything set out, the actions you're going to be taking. You kind of see the picture of where you're going. But you're feeling lost. It's like the world is this big forest and you just can't seem to see the light at the end of the trees. So the next one kind of makes sense, where you'll be lacking motivation. Too afraid, too unstable, feeling too insecure, not really having the sense of direction to actually start something new. Lack of motivation, it's kind of understandable that you feel that you're not taking on anything new, you're not taking risks because you don't really see like the end picture because you're feeling lost. And also come through in your personal styling, your grooming. How well are you taking care of what you are wearing and how you look? You're not even motivated to actually be inspired to wear something that looks good, that makes you feel good. So even the way you dress is now once again showing up where you are feeling lost, you've got no motivation, that you are lacking some of your identity. And if I'm coming across too strong and too hard, it's because I'm also speaking to myself. I identify with this. I have been through so much myself. I've been through a few divorces. I have been through businesses that were absolute successes and failures. I've gone through my own identity shifts, midlife crisis, divorces, serious traumatic relationships with my children. I've been through it all. So I want to share with you that you can get through this. Believe me, you can. I'm changing an entire new career at the age of 57, packed up, almost ready to immigrate, to start a whole new career, a whole new life, leaving a lot behind and stepping in, starting something new with taking my 38 years of experience in my fashion industry and turning and tweaking it into a new direction. Some days I'm so excited. Some days I think, what the fuck and hell am I doing to myself? So I really resonate with you. So let's get to the next one. So let's get back to it. So struggling to make decisions. And this all kind of makes sense. Wouldn't you agree? Because you're feeling lost, you're not really motivated, you're not really taking risks and trying new things, you don't trust yourself, you don't believe whatever decision you're making is good enough, so you're always asking others, what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea? And you need that valuation all the time. Where before you knew you could just make a decision, make a choice, and take the action and start with it. And now you can feel that you're just not sure because you can't make decisions, you're struggling with it. And that definitely makes you feel even more insecure. Let's look at the next one. So these all sort of fall hand in hand, they're all kind of linked. So now you are feeling disconnected from others because you're kind of withdrawing. Maybe you're slightly depressed, maybe just going more within because you're feeling lost, you don't have the motivation, and you know that before you could make these decisions and now you can't. So you're kind of disconnecting from people because you don't really feel aligned with yourself. Your body, mind, and soul connection, there is a shift. You're not listening to your gut of who you are, where you're supposed to be going, and to listen to what is it that's making you realize that that's not working for you. Maybe try this. But because you're disconnected, you're not really listening or feeling or being in tune with yourself. And definitely the next one would be is that you're being easily influenced by others, because think about it. It's one of the other reasons where maybe that's why you're disconnected and withdrawing from people, because you're kind of feeling vulnerable and insecure. And people can be like predators. They're going to zoom in and take advantage of you. Your own children will do it. Your partners will do it. Business associates will do it because they can see that you're weak. They're going to come in for the kill. And these are things that's making you even feel more insecure, more unstable, because you know that you are being easily influenced. Or maybe you haven't realized that until now. And of course, feeling totally unfulfilled because you're not motivated, you are struggling with making decisions, you are feeling lost. So none of these things is feeding your soul, motivating you and giving you energy and direction. So you're feeling totally unfulfilled because, once again, it's because you're disconnected with really being aligned and being tuned with who you are and what it is you really want. And of course, experiencing low self-esteem. You don't trust yourself, you don't believe in yourself, you don't know who the hell you are. And all these things is affecting your self-esteem because you don't think that you're good enough. Your self-worth is taking a dip. People are taking advantage of you. You are easily influenced, and of course this just makes you feel even worse. Experiencing low self-esteem is, you've kind of forgotten to take care of yourself because maybe you've just got too much intrusive thinking, you're thinking too much. Perhaps you even fallen into this victim mode behavior where you're feeling sorry for yourself. You could be eating too much, drinking too much, not exercising, sleeping too much. You are not taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. You're not making an effort to get all dressed up. You're not watching your diet. You're not exercising. And you kind of feel that I can't stick to anything, so why even bother? And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, is that me? Am I living in someone else's life? But also realizing you're not the same person you used to be, but yes, shifts have taken place. And through all of this, you are definitely struggling to express yourself because you kind of were this person, you had these little bit of ideas, or you kind of watching something, or you're following another influencer, or you've been reading something, and you like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you're trying to piece this together, creating this puzzle of trying to find your identity, and now you're trying to express it, but you're struggling because you don't really know who you are, where you're going, what it is you like, and all these things. And so people maybe don't take you serious because you're not really firm and confident in what it is that you want. And even you become more frustrated. I'll leave the link down below of my self-mastery coaching books, which are wonderfully easy to go through. There are activity and worksheets to help you go through helping yourself, finding your identity, evolving through a lack of self-love, as well as discovering your true, authentic self, looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, and really getting to know who you are. Because you know that saying, you need to know thyself before you know what it is that you want, and you can start following it, creating, and living it. So I'll leave the link, have a look at it. So let's continue. So in this chapter, we are talking about practical ways for you to rediscover who you are, to find your identity, as well as probably tweaking it, bringing in new things, because you have changed. You're not the same person. You've kind of evolved. You maybe had a bit of a setback, but maybe you need to go through that experience, that awakening, the trauma, the sadness, all of that. It's all part of you growing and evolving. Now it's time for you to love yourself, let it go. All right, so the first thing would be, as you know, everything has got to do with your mindset as well as mind management. So the first one I could really recommend for you to go into is to take some time to meditate, to switch off and become more self-aware of your self-talk. Are you kind to yourself? Start telling yourself, I love what I see in the mirror. Start creating a daily routine where you wake up in the morning becoming aware of your self-talk, of those intrusive thoughts. What kind of words are filtering through your mind? You need to manage your own mind. You are managing your mindset and your emotions. So when you take some time to meditate, you are switching off. What else are you doing? You are absolutely calming the mind, the body, and the soul. You are definitely lowering any form of anxiety, blood pressures, all those things. You are just calming down. And the most amazing thing is that through meditation, many times answers start coming to you, as well as understanding life situations. Somehow solutions start to filter deeper into you, that you understand why something has happened, and suddenly it makes more sense, and you possibly stop being that victim. About setting personal goals. So the first personal goal is about your mind management, making time to meditate every day. And personal goals could be, every day when I wake up, I'm going to do some yoga, I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to eat a healthy breakfast. You decide on your personal goals. Keep it simple so you don't become overwhelmed. Set 3 to 5 goals that are creating a routine that you want to follow each day. Your personal goals could be, I'm going to go through my wardrobe and detox and declutter and repack everything, maybe through color coordination or easy styles to put together, so you don't have to think too much to pull something out the wardrobe and put a little ensemble together, and a little bit of lipstick, a little bit of makeup, some perfume, to start feeling better about yourself. Then, of course, you need to start spending time with yourself to explore your passions and your interests, because maybe a lot has changed. A few months ago, a year ago, maybe you're starting to look for something new. Your body is telling you, try new interests, find out what your passions are. This is all part of self-discovery, building your self-identity, your self-esteem, because you are in charge of creating your identity. You are building your self-esteem, your self-image to who you want to be, where you are going from this moment forward. Go and look at Pinterest. Go and have a look at different types of hobbies, different kind of activities, and see which ones you like. Take some time, journal all the things that you like. Like, for instance, you love going camping. You like going out into the wilderness and seeing wild animals. You like to go for hikes. You've always wanted to do a hot air balloon experience. So write all these things down. You wanted to start yoga. You wanted to go and do scuba diving. You wanted to go and do swimming. Write it all down. Knitting, cooking, whatever it is. Start exploring. Through seeking personal help, you can either find a coach, a life coach, or some kind of therapy, as well as delve down the whole journey of self-help books, self-discovery, self-mastery books. I'll leave the link down below of my self-mastery books to help you find your identity, because I have been there. And I know when I studied my NLP life coaching as a neuro-linguistic programming and life transformation coach, I took a year off and I did a sabbatical, and I traveled to a few countries. I went to Europe, and I needed time to refine myself. I wrote some books. A lot of the books was just for me to rediscover who I am, and releasing a lot of toxicity and a lot of pain and anger. I got rid of it. But in the process, as I healed, the books that I offer now is about identifying who you are. How do we make the shifts and changes? So by stepping into our higher self, we have more direction. We love ourselves. We believe in ourselves. We dress to connect. We are dressing up. We're dressing up. We're showing up. We know what we want. We're making a plan, and we are going for it. The next one would be all part of practicing self-love, self-care. It's about, are you getting a good sleep? Are you eating healthy? Is your food nutritional? Is it giving you energy? Are you exercising? Are you grooming yourself? Are you taking care of your skin, putting good moisturizers on? Are you actually taking care of your hair, having a good haircut, coloring it when you need to? dressing up, showing up and being yourself and connecting and attracting what it is that you want in your life and going after it, as well as how are you spending your time? Are you just sitting watching Netflix like a zombie, or are you being more specific which kind of series, documentaries you want to actually watch to learn and grow your skills? What kind of books are you reading? Are you reading books that are uplifting you, making you understand more about yourself or the trauma that you have gone through, so you can actually heal, become consciously aware, become emotionally more mature about where you are and where you are going, to help you uplift and elevate your self-confidence and your identity in the process? This is all about you finding new experiences. You are broadening your horizons with the self-help books, with these documentaries or channels or mentors that you are following to gain more knowledge, and as well to look at what other interests do you have. What experiences can you step into to find who you are right now? I've totally fallen in love with yoga since I moved into my smaller townhouse. Waiting for the visa to go to America, I started joining yoga because I told my husband, if I don't start doing some other form of exercising besides just walking every day in nature, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to get depressed. I need more. I started meditating. I'm doing yoga. I'm so into the whole chakras, your chakra colors and how to heal the body. I have found new experiences, new knowledge, which has opened up so many doors for me, and I am absolutely loving it. I have found a new passion, which is good for my body, mind, and soul, as well as the sanity of my family. The next one is your perspective. So just like I said about yoga, about my whole new transition, my whole transformation, everything, I am excited about where I'm going, what I'm doing. A lot of work had to be done. I had to elevate my self-confidence, my trust in myself, believing myself, and have the courage to take the action, but I had to know who I have become. So if I can do it, you can do it too. So start now.